Hi guys, I'm Rick. Welcome back to the Oddgeez channel and the Oddgeez Intro to Poi tutorial series. I am here to teach you some of the very basics on how to do Poi. Like I've said in some other videos, there are some masters out there who can teach you a lot more than I know, but I am here to teach you what I know and how I got here. So I've been doing Poi for about four and a half years at this point, and I think I've grown a lot, especially in the last year with living with my roommate and doing Poi almost every day. So I'm going to teach you how we practice Poi, what we do to continue learning new moves and growing and strengthening the moves that we do know. And I am just here to show you some of the first moves that I learned. What we are listening to right now is Koan Sound. This is the album Polychrome, the song Cobalt. I'd highly recommend them. I highly recommend most of the music that I put in this channel, but Koan Sound is especially nice. So what I've covered so far are some of the basics, such as the 3-beat weave, and then today I'll cover the wraps, like that. And what we have also covered is this butterfly. Alright, so without further ado, let's just go right on into how to do wraps. Now, wraps are some of the most important parts of doing Poi, because not only do they allow you to transition between the direction that both of your Poi are going at once, but they allow you to transition the direction that only one Poi is going at a time. To demonstrate that, we can start off by going in a simple 3-beat weave. If you are not familiar with how to do a weave, you can look at my first video that I posted, which is up here in the corner. I will figure out how to get that up there. So I'll make sure that you have that link to that video that teaches you how to go from this simple jogging motion, or the running man as I call it, to a 3-beat weave, nice and clean. So once you've got that down, feel free to click that video and come back, because these videos are going to be up there for a while. So once you've got this down, what you're going to want to do is simply find a point. I usually find it easier on my right side, but I'll do it on my left just so I can show you guys more easily. You find a point where your hands are just going to stop, and you turn with them. And that is it. You have to keep your wrists together when you're doing the 3-beat weave, or at least keep them close to each other. You don't want to have your arms out like this when you're doing a weave, so keep your weaves clean by keeping your wrists close to each other. See, here my forearms aren't even leaving each other, they're keeping touched. So when you do a wrap, what you want to do, and there are several ways of doing them. You could technically do a wrap with your fists like this. I like to do them with my hands closed, palms flat together, and you let the strings, as the name implies, wrap around your hand. So as you're doing this forward weave, you stop, turn, and let them wrap around your hand. Now once you've done that, the key and the harder part of doing wraps is unwrapping. What you want to do with the wrap is keep your hands like this, and then spread them slightly while you turn in the direction you're trying to rotate. So if you spread and turn, you're going to be able to get them to pop out nicely. If you are trying to do a wrap and you go into it and then just kind of try to turn them back, they're not going to have enough momentum to pop back out into the nice circle that you're looking for. So again, they're easiest for me personally, from a forward weave on my right side, and then either go right or go left, and turn. And you might find it's easier, and I'm exaggerating here, to rotate with the Poi. Rotate your hands to make a deeper spiral, and that'll help you kind of line things up. And as you can see, you can do an infinite loop of wraps by pulling your hands apart and bringing them back together. So those are two-hand spiral wraps, or I have to admit I don't know if it's spiral wraps or just wraps. I'll have to look up the terminology after this, because there is another one that I think might be the spiral wrap, and that's this one. That one's a lot harder to do. I'll do a separate tutorial on that in the future, maybe in a few minutes here. But what you want to make sure to learn from the wraps is to go from a weave, or whatever you're comfortable doing, but usually a weave is the easiest. Go from a 3-beat weave, stop your hands, turn 90 degrees to face the plane that they're rotating in. Stop your hands, bring them together like this, and then turn them back to the way that they were rotating before, and pull your hands out at the same time to really pull out of that wrap. So that's really all you need to know about those. What we'll move on to now is this, transition wrap, or a one-arm wrap, or I guess I can't really think of any other names. I don't call it anything, I just usually call it an arm wrap. But these allow for a lot of flexibility in changing the direction that one poi is going. As you saw before, if I'm in a weave, and I do a wrap, and I go out of it, my poi are still rotating in the same direction, because when I do the weave, they both transition into a different direction. The difference with this is that I keep my left arm rotating the poi while I wrap the other one. So this is a way for me to transition from a weave into a butterfly, from a butterfly back into a weave. Now, the hardest part at first in doing this is keeping the one hand that is extended rotating. What you're going to want to find is that you'll want to do that, and you'll want to rotate both of them at the same time. I would say stick one arm out, rotate your poi in a circle, and just do this. You might get a little bit of rope burn from it, but that's part of poi. So if you just stand here and really focus on keeping one rotating while the other rotates around your arm, that will teach you, and practice on both sides. That's a very important part of poi, practicing things on both sides. But this will teach you arm independence, which is a very, very key part of poi and gloving and flow in general. It'll teach you arm independence as well as how to keep one poi rotating while the other changes direction. Eventually, eventually, once you know what you're doing and you can clean things up a little bit, you can change direction a lot. Now, this is how I learned. There might be better ways to go about this than how I learned. I'm simply teaching you what I went through from ground floor to where I am now. You know, how about mid-intermediate level, I would say, if even that. So there's another way to transition between a butterfly and a weave, or basically transition the direction that one poi is going, and that is by stalling one of them, or stopping its movement without hitting another object or without wrapping it around your arm. Stalling that one while spinning the other. That I personally consider to be a bit more advanced of a technique. It took me a while to learn that, but some people are just more comfortable doing that than they are wrapping it around their arm. So there are many ways to go about changing the direction that a poi is going, that one or both poi are going. That is an orbital that I'll teach you in the future as well. So stay tuned for more tricks and everything. If there's anything that you see me doing casually while I am talking that I don't mention that I will teach, or that I don't teach you how to do, behind the back move or something over my head, feel free to comment with the timestamp and say, hey, what was that? And I will comment and teach you and put a tutorial video up as well. But I really enjoy doing these tutorials. It lets me make my fundamentals more solid and really hope to get some more people into poi. So for anybody out there watching, friends and family, I thank you for watching this. Make sure that you practice your poi daily or whenever you get time. It's a great meditation, great way to relax. It's sometimes frustrating, but it's a great way to challenge yourself and get through some frustrating blocks sometimes. But I encourage you to subscribe to my channel. If you have subscribed, thank you, and I also encourage you to click the notification bell that is underneath the video. That will tell you when I've posted new videos. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you tune in again, and just practice poi. Stay safe. Thanks. Bye.